When this baby fires up, they won't say I overdid it. They'll say I'm a genius.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 times Rugrats tackled serious issues.
You guys go ahead. Mother's Day is for kids who got moms. I'll just stay here.
For this list, we'll be looking at the instances where our favorite animated toddlers were really ahead of their time by showing them take on some pretty heavy subjects that other Nicktoons didn't or couldn't always tackle. Think we missed a major issue? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Self-doubt. In a nod to the classic film It's a Wonderful Life, Chucky has a falling out with his friends and starts to think the world would be better off without him.
Isn't there anything I can do? Not really, Chucky. The bottom line is, we'd all be a lot better off without you.
Thankfully, his guardian angel sets him straight by showing him what it would be like if Chucky was never born, and it is horrifying. His dad is a lonely wreck, Phil and Lil are out of control, and worst of all, Angelica has completely dominated Tommy's life.
Hey! I thought I told you to stay out of my sight!
Have you ever had that nagging feeling that you don't matter in the grand scheme of things? Fortunately, this episode reminds us that we all have a purpose, no matter how big or small, even if we don't always see it.
And I thought it was all my fault. Nah, Chucky, it wasn't your fault at all.
Number 9. Unfair labor treatment. Angelica puts the babies to work in her lemonade stand, but she has them doing everything for no pay while she rakes in the dimes.
2 more lemonades! Come on, babies! Please?
Does any of this sound familiar to you? Do you feel like you're being overworked and underpaid at your job? Unfortunately, there's still an ongoing problem where a company, retail or otherwise, tries to get away with taking advantage of its employees.
Hey, Angelica! Are you trying to get out of sharing your monies with the babies? I don't think that's none of your beeswax. Angelica?
Forcing them to work unreasonable hours for little pay, and threatening termination if they don't keep working. Susie teaches the babies to stand up for their rights, and their efforts are rewarded in the end.
We want dimes! We want dimes! We want dimes! We want dimes!
Still, if animated toddlers can learn to respect their workers, why can't major companies? Number 8. Post-traumatic stress disorder. Tommy has been dubbed the braveliest baby.
See, you're still the braveliest baby after all! Come on, Chucky. We all made it to the top of Mount Everest.
But when he gets a cut on his finger, his confidence is completely shattered. He becomes petrified of anything sharp, he's too afraid to do anything adventurous, and worst of all, he has nightmares of getting an even worse cut.
Wanna slide, Tommy? No thanks, guys. I'm just gonna look at my book.
This is a subtle yet accurate representation of someone struggling with PTSD, facing flashbacks and frightening images of traumatic events or injuries, and more often than not, becoming paralyzed with fear. Thankfully, Chucky is there to help Tommy overcome his terror by showing him that the cut will heal over time.
See? This one's almost gone. Oh, then this one's gonna be okay too.
Unfortunately, real-life trauma isn't as easy to overcome, but with the right emotional support, it becomes more bearable. Number 7. Picking on others. When it comes to pushing people around on Rugrats, you'd expect all eyes to turn towards Angelica, with how often she picks on the babies.
Hey, get off my castle! Can't we just play on the bottom? No! I'm queen of this castle, and I'm not gonna let a bunch of slobbery babies climb all over it! But Angelica, now get back to work and finish digging my moat!
However, there's someone who's undoubtedly even worse than she is, Josh. He lures the group with promises of playing fair before slowly taking advantage of them and turning them into his own hard labor force.
See, Tommy, I'm a bigger kid than you, right?
Yeah.
And a big kid like me needs all the cookies.
This showcases that there's more to this type of mistreatment and misbehavior than just harassing someone. There's emotional manipulation and exploitation. The worst part is that not everyone is able to recognize when someone is using them. Thankfully, Angelica is there to rescue her dumb babies, proving that dealing with her could always be much worse.
I'm the big idea, and I say quit messing with these babies. They don't have to be bossed around by you or anybody else. Come on, get up off the ground, dummies. Get back down there!
Number 6. Feminism. For the longest time, strong characterization in cartoons was a man's game, with women being more often than not reduced to either stay-at-home housewives or damsels in distress. Well, Rugrats doesn't have time for that nonsense. Instead, Angelica, at only 3 years old, is large and in charge, and her mom Charlotte is the CEO of a major corporation who takes nonsense from no one.
Don't you see? If Angelica's ever going to make it in a male-dominated power structure, she's got to eat, breathe, drink, and sweat self-esteem.
Not only that, but Lucy is a multi-talented physician, Betty is the embodiment of female empowerment, and Dee Dee is the main breadwinner of the household.
A little thing I picked up at the Cordon Bleu.
You studied at the Cordon Bleu?
Well, I didn't study there, actually. I was a guest lecturer, but it's never too late to learn a thing or two, right, Dee Dee?
Not only did the series have a perfectly gender-balanced cast, but it was refreshing to see the women get their time in the spotlight.
So, is Lil enjoying your mommy and daughter female empowerment class?
Oh, it's a blast, dude.
Number 5. Anxiety. On almost every adventures the babies undertake, Chucky is the designated worrywart who tries to keep the group out of trouble.
I was on the big slide, big slide. I was so high up, I was almost touching the ceiling.
It's easy to brush him off as just a scaredy cat, but can you blame him? Life is unpredictable, and for someone afraid of uncertainty, the world can be a terrifying place. That alone is what makes Chucky so relatable to anyone plagued with anxiety.
I'm a big brave dog. I'm a big brave dog.
Thankfully, whenever they can, Chucky's friends help guide Chucky through an adventure and offer emotional support when he feels frightened. At the end of the day, that's all an anxious person really needs, a little patience and assurance that everything will be all right.
What happened? You had a little scare, but don't worry, she's gone now. It's all over.
Number 4. Gender norms. Back in the day, it was a rare thing for television shows, especially cartoons, to try and challenge society's gender norms.
It's short for brilliant. And this is, Chiquina. Chiquina's a girl, too. Isn't that right, Chiquina?
And yet, Rugrats not only challenged it, but they straight up also called it out. For context, Phil and Chucky decide to try and wear dresses for a day, and they were perfectly happy with the change.
You know, my mom wears pants, and she's a girl. I guess that's true.
But when two jerks threaten to beat them up, Chucky angrily shouts what we're all thinking. If moms can wear pants and grown-ups can wear diapers, why can't boys wear dresses?
If the mommies can wear pants and grown-ups can wear diapers, how come we can't wear dresses?
Thankfully, the cowards are chased off in the end, proving that no matter your gender, you should be allowed to wear whatever you want without being shamed for it.
Why does being a boy have to be so hard?
Number 3. Different types of families. A lot of shows try to portray the average nuclear family, but the truth is that families come in all shapes and sizes.
Is everything okay with Chucky?
I don't know, Dee Dee. I just feel like we're not connecting.
Rugrats fully embraces this fact by displaying many different family dynamics. There are traditional families, of course, but there are also single parents such as Chaz. Further down the line, they really pushed the envelope by bringing Chaz and Kira together into an interracial family, with them adopting each other's children.
I don't know if you could understand this, sweetheart, but I've adopted you.
And I've adopted you, Chucky.
They were also never afraid to mix up the gender norms of families, with the wives bringing home the bacon and the husbands being the stay-at-home parents. Every family was different, but what they all had in common was the strong bonds they shared.
But you're supposed to be at the party. I know, and so's are you.
Number 2. Race, culture, and religion. Let's face it, race, culture, and religion are super sensitive topics that you never want to mess up.
So, the people repaired their temple, but the Greeks had left only enough oil to burn in the menorah for one night.
And yet, not only did Rugrats do all three well, they excelled at them. With the inclusion of an African-American family, who became major players in the show, and Japanese main characters, the show never shied away from diversity. Speaking of which, how many other Nicktoons can say they've made holiday-themed episodes for Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and even Passover?
Moses? What's he doing here? Let me guess. You came to beg for forgiveness. Nope, I came to tell you to let my babies go.
Rugrats not only spotlighted all 3 holidays, but also did them in a respectable, genuine manner that really enlightened viewers on what each holiday is all about. When it came to cultural representation, Rugrats truly was ahead of its time.
Come on, let's go celebrate Kwanzaa! Yeah!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Loss. Undeniably, losing a loved one is one of the worst hardships anyone can endure at any age. And poor Chucky, at only 2 years old, was forced to experience loss twice.
And, oh yeah, your bug died. What? Melville! Melville! 1 minute he was fine and the next, I want him back!
His only pet, Melville, passed, and Chucky got his first taste of the 5 stages of grief. What's even worse, he lost his mother when he was even younger, and his father worried that remembering her would hurt too much.
It's all right, Chucky. Don't be scared.
Thankfully, both instances tackled the subject beautifully and respectfully, teaching young viewers that even when someone is gone, the memories and good times you shared with them never truly leave, as long as you hold on to them.
Though I must leave you
behind me, this poem will tell you where you always can find me.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.